It's my pleasure. The first up is Representative Jodi Emerson. She's my friend, my neighbor. You don't know that Jodi is our state representative for the 91st Assembly District and a fierce advocate for her constituents and all of Wisconsin.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Gloria and Bill and Cindy for putting this together, the organizations that are supporting this, and to each and every one of you for being here. You know, sometimes we don't know what to do. We feel this need to fight back, to stand up. And it's these organizations that are helping to give us an opportunity to stand up and fight back. We feel fear and panic when we are seeing friends and neighbors being attacked for what they look like, who they love, what they are, what they stand for. And we need to fight back and we need to stand up. Our neighbors are being threatened. Jobs are being threatened. Our rights are under assault. Liberty is at stake. And the promise of America is disappearing before our eyes. And this isn't just a question for some ethics class somewhere. It is happening in the halls of power in DC and across the country right now. But what we are doing today, right here, we stand in community with our friends and our neighbors. You need me to use my angry white voice? Is that what you're saying?
Like you're yelling at me.
Yeah, he knows it too well. But we are standing in community, and we must stand united to protect each other. Because the values that America holds dear, that everyone is created equal, and that liberty and justice for all are not just words. It's a moral code that we stand by. Some of you have heard me talk about this several times before, but I always wonder, if I was at another time in history, would I have stood for what we know is right today? If I was a pioneer, would I have stood against the land grabs of our Native friends? If I was alive during the time of legal slavery, would I have stood against that? Or if I was in Europe in the 30s and 40s, would I have helped our friends and neighbors then? But what we are doing here today, we are standing up against that. It's easy to say with hindsight that we would have stood up, and sat at a lunch counter in the South, stood for voting rights. All these other things that we know today are needed. We are at this moment right now, and you are standing for what is right. Our country's values are being dismantled, not with votes in Congress, but with executive orders. And we have separate but equal branches of government. This isn't right. We need to stand with elected people who are fighting for us, not people who just have a big bank account and think they've got it right. I really could have used the podium for this. And by the way, earlier this week, as Bill mentioned, we showed him that people power is far more important than one or two people in power. Our country is built on the promise that we learn from the past and make future generations better. As the ranking Democrat on Colleges and Universities Committee in the Assembly, I am deeply concerned about this dismantling of our country's history and what the Trump administration is trying to do to our institutes of higher education. just look at what happened. I think it was even last week. I start to forget when these executive orders are coming out because it's like coming from a fire hose. But there was an executive order where he told the vice president to oversee the removal of what the administration deems as, quote, improper, divisive, or anti-American ideology. That is anti-American. As the famous saying goes, those who do not learn from the past are doomed to repeat it. And I don't want us to go back to separate but equal because they weren't equal. I don't want us to go back to a time where children were working in factories. We need our museums to show us the past so we can learn from the past.
Yes.
And museums are not just about history, they're about art. And whether that art is visual or musical or spoken word, it's at its fundamental core meant to challenge us and make us think, make us see something from somebody else's perspective, and make us grow and learn. And that brings me to another topic that impacts higher education. Not only higher education, but it impacts every single one of us. What they are doing to research. NIH, CDC, and all of these other organizations are getting grants cut, they're getting people cut, and that is going to impact every single one of our lives.
Yes.
I was talking to a doctor in Osseo last week who lost part of a grant for over $1 million that is studying degenerative diseases. In Osseo, we have some amazing scientists right here in the Chippewa Valley who are working to make our lives better as we grow, as we get older. And they are taking, Trump and Elon and all these other folks are taking that away from us. UW-Madison is one of the best research institutes in the country. Over $1 billion of federal money each year is sent so we can do research right here in Wisconsin that makes sure that we are making better cancer drugs for tomorrow, getting our water clean, all types of things. And they are taking that away from us. That is not only losing the future, it's losing. That's right. We're losing not only new technologies with these cuts to grants, but we're losing science. We're losing the point where we are going to get better with our health. We're losing workforce and training. And so I say it loudly to those trying to take away our future. What did you just chant? Hands off! That's right, hands off.
Hands off.
Hands off. Do you want Elon deciding your medical future?
No.
So I will end with quoting Senator Cory Booker,
Oh, yeah.
who earlier this week gave the longest speech in Senate history. Not as a filibuster against a specific bill, but to stand up for a moment and take a stance for every single one of us. He ended his speech with these words, quote, "I don't know how to stop this. I don't know how to stop us from going down this road. But I do know who does have the power. The people of the United States of America." The power of the people is always bigger than the people in power. And he quoted John Lewis. He said he would not normalize this moment. He would stand for us to go out and cause some trouble, good trouble, necessary trouble. Let's be bold in America. Let's cause some good trouble. And we are standing here today not just to cause trouble, but to cause necessary trouble and to stand for what we believe in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for standing up. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. It just gets better and better.